So this is the drum brake, the rear drum brake that I spent the better part of a day trying to get out. And I read the manual. It says once the brake itself, the brake shoes, these things have been contaminated with oil, you should not clean them. You should get a new one. And that's probably what you should do. But since I'm incredibly cheap, I'm gonna clean them anyway and use them, because I mean they look fairly good. They have plenty of life left in them, so it would just be a waste throwing them away. So I'm gonna clean them with some water mixed with degreaser. But first I'm gonna have to disassemble it and fix this thing. I don't know why it's rotated slightly. It should be straight. That's why the wheel was stuck, because this thing keeps breaking even without applying any brakes. So to disassemble these, you have to kind of force them apart enough to clear this pivot point. But since it's open a little bit, it's gonna be a little bit difficult to do so. You should probably use gloves for this. The manual also says that if the springs are worn, then you should replace them, but these seem to be strong enough, so I'm gonna reuse them as well. Okay, so first let's clean everything. I'm gonna use this thing and the degreaser. Now I'm gonna turn my attention to this thing and figure out why it doesn't want to rotate freely. This should rotate quite freely. think I'm gonna need the tire iron again. Okay, I was finally able to get it out. This one almost had me. I'm not even kidding. I was looking up prices for these things, 20 to 30 pounds on eBay. I was really about to buy this whole thing, because this one was the most difficult to get out so far. And I mean, I had real trouble with the brake thing as well. But this little thing, it was hell getting out. So now I'm gonna thoroughly clean every part of it, and then after that I think I'm finally ready to put the brakes back together and then put it back on the bike. Oh man, I mean, I literally had to use every single tool I had. The tire tool for leverage. This is what I did. I'm gonna show you what I did. Let me just put my phone down. Okay, so I had to actually use the bike as leverage, so that this was in here, wouldn't move not a millimeter. So what I did was, I got the axle from the bike, put it in here, then I put the whole thing inside the bike like this, and then I use this bolt back here to kind of hold it in place like this. Then I got my 8-inch spanner. I put it on this thing like this, and then I got my tire tool. I put it on top for leverage like this, and then I was holding it here and then twisting, and then finally it started to move. Then I had to go around and around and around for like 20 times until finally it started to come out. And then slowly, very slowly and painfully, it came out. Now it's out. Now look how easy it is now. I don't know what it was that was holding it in, but I'm gonna clean all this gunk off, and from the inside as well, and then hopefully it's not gonna stick again. Also, I managed, unfortunately, to break another thing. This little piece, where is it? Oh, right here. This little piece broke off. There was supposed to be like this little laced part on this side as well, but it broke off. I don't know if that's an important part. I really hope it's not. I really hope I don't have to order another one of these just because of that, because I really suffered for this. Anyway, now I'm gonna clean this off and then continue with the work. I think I should say one more time, as a kind of a warning, let's just say, you don't want to reuse old brake parts like brake shoes or brake pads. I am doing so because, well, two reasons. Number one is they're still good. If you see that there's still a lot of life left in them, then sure, reuse them. But number two, and even more importantly, this is at one point, a 125 motorcycle, 125cc. So it doesn't need as much braking power as bigger bikes. So if you have a big bike, like 1000 cc's or even anything above like 500 cc's, you should always use new brake parts because it needs a lot more brake power to stop heavier bikes and faster bikes. But for a little 125 like this, it doesn't need as much braking power, so it's okay to reuse slightly worn brake parts. And also the oil part, make sure you don't get any oil on the brake pads and the brake shoes. And just now I'm going to clean out the inside of the brake drum as well, because oil and brakes just do not mix. Okay, so yeah, that's it. This was a very difficult process working on this rear brake, but now it's all done, so I can move on to the next job. The bike is looking good, well, pretty much the same as usual, but yeah, slowly it's getting better and better. All right, that's it for this one. A little update on the bike. I moved on to the chain. I managed to take it off. It's incredibly rusty. I'm gonna try and see if I can do something with this, make it reasonably clean. But if I can't, I'm gonna go ahead and order a new one. I mean, I always knew that I'm gonna have to order some of these parts. And so yeah, I'm probably gonna have to order a new chain. But while I took off the chain, I'm gonna clean these parts, this sprocket and this area, because it's very rusty and dirty. So that's what I'm doing right now. Yeah, we'll see how it turns out. I'm not delusional. I know this bike is never gonna look brand new or even good, but I just wanna, clean stuff so it looks presentable. While I'm here, I also see that this is where the battery grounds to the body, so I'm gonna take that off and clean the point a little bit as well. It's always good if your ground is clean. Why does the battery negative ground connect with such a long bolt? Did I take something else off? I also noticed that when I was trying to take off the tank, I managed to break the fuel line, so I'm gonna have to buy a new one of those as well. Now if I open the petcock, it starts pouring out spoiled fuel, which is nice. Because I forgot to disconnect first and then take it off, so as I was playing around with it, trying to handle it, I managed to break the line, but it's an old line anyway, so it had to be changed anyway. You don't want to play around with fuel lines. Okay, so this is now reasonably clean. Now I can put back the sprocket and then move on to the chain. While I have this cover off, I'm gonna clean this as well, and I'm gonna take off the clutch lever and clean the point when it connects. It occurs to me that as I'm reassembling these things, I should probably lubricate them as well. WD-40 is not really a good, it's not really for lubrication. So I need to buy something specifically designed for lubrication. But for now, let's just clean this. Okay, let's move on to the chain now. After I took a little break because I cannot stand crouching like this.